The Last of Us Season 2 is off and running with a bang, but this major event that's going to happen this season, I think has a great chance of ruining the season. Not just ruining the season, but ruining the show going forward. What's the deal, my people? You know what it is, Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you, another one. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what's going to happen in The Last of Us Season 2 and how this one event might just change the whole series. In fact, I believe it will change the whole series, and I don't even know if the show will ever recover from this situation. So let me put the spoiler warning up there for anybody who hasn't played the video game, who doesn't want to know this major event that will happen this season without a shadow of a doubt, that is going to change the course of this show going forward forever. I will break down exactly why it happens, when it happens, and why I truly believe that the show will not recover from it. And it's just not my opinion. I have solid evidence that backs this up. Right when Season 2 starts off, we are introduced to Abby and all of her friends, and they are very heavy-handed about Abby having a problem with Joel and the fact that Joel killed her father while he went inside of the hospital to save Ellie. I thought they were really heavy-handed with it, and when you have somebody who's waiting over 5 years to kill somebody, not just kill him, saying that they want to kill this person slowly, I don't think you can introduce a person like that and then this person not get the job done. I mean, it would make no sense to have her wait all this time and all of a sudden she doesn't get it done. And that is the major issue that will happen this season. She will kill Joel, and not only will she kill Joel, she'll kill Joel brutally and really bad, and she will make him suffer as she said she is going to make him suffer. Now, whether she's justified to doing that or not is truly up to you. That depends on how you look at it, but that fact is going to happen. He is going to be killed this season. He's going to be killed brutally, and he's going to be killed right in front of Ellie, and Abby is going to be the one to do it, and that's how it's going to play out. Now, that brings up the fact, can this show survive without Pedro Pascal? Now, I don't believe that it will. You're taking out the main character of the show, gone, wiped off the board, and now you're asking Ellie and a couple of other minor characters that you didn't care about that much to continue the show going forward. And it's not just me that's saying this. You can just go by the proof in the video games. When The Last of Us Part 1 came out, it was a smash hit and it sold over 30 million copies. But Part 2, after everybody found out exactly what happens to their character, their beloved character Joel, this one only sold 10 million copies, 20 million less than the first one. Then the video game people, as my British brothers would say, tried to be a little cheeky there by having you play as Abby for the rest of the game. So not only did Abby kill your favorite character that you loved in Part 1, you're forced to play as this chick and try to understand everything about her later on in this game, which nobody liked, and that is why it sold over 20 million less copies. And I do believe that this will translate the same exact way it did for this show. I do not believe that Bella Ramsey can carry the show on her own, just like no one's going to care about everything that goes on with Abby. Even when you go back and you meet her family and you meet her friends and everything else, I don't think people, after the way they show her murder Joel, that they're going to want to have anything to do with this woman, and they're not going to feel sorry for her whatsoever. And I think it may have been better served that if they opening scene is her saying that she wants to kill Joel and kill him slowly, if they maybe just made her sneak in there, act like she was one of them. They did show people go inside there and act like she gets down, then all of a sudden snuffs him and kills him and takes him out. Maybe that would have been better. But when you show someone in the opening scene saying they want to take him out, and then she shows up at the end of the episode, then there's no doubt she has to get it done, or just be poor story writing. So I think it's on the wall, and everyone knows that she's going to make this happen, and she's going to take out Joel. But in the end, I don't think her character or Bella Ramsey's character of Ellie can carry the show the same way that Pedro Pascal carried season 1. You could have been a fan of Vikings. Vikings was a great show, but you have to be honest with yourself when you say that it was never the same when Ragnar Lothbrok died. And you had years to get to know Ragnar and years to get to know other people in the show, but when the man passed away and died in the show's ratings dropped and it was never the same again. And you can name a billion shows that the same thing happened. Now we're talking about a show that you've only had one season to get to know the main person, and now you're going to take him out the second season and expect this little girl with all the weight of the show to carry the show. Not only her, but also the person who killed him is going to carry the show. So these two girls will be at the forefront until this season ends. Now I know that they're doing 7 episodes this season, and they're chopping the video game in 2 parts, and they'll do 7 more next season. So without a shadow of a doubt, within these 7 episodes, he's going to bite the dust. She's going to kill him, and then you're going to have to go into the next season without Joel. And I think that's when it ends. I do not believe there will be a final season after that. It'll just be no way, because I don't even think the ratings are going to last for the next season. If they kill him off in episode 7, to me, would be the best thing that they possibly could do, is to take him out as late as possible and then just go into the next season and say this is going to be the final season. But if they take him out in episodes 3, 4, I think that you'll see a significant drop in ratings right after he gets taken out. Because right after this happens, this survival horror, which will still be going on in the background, and you will get introduced to other characters, mostly bad people in the game that maybe you have a little bit of love for, the new characters that they introduce. But in the end, this is going to turn into the Ellie and Dina show, and Ellie and Dina trying to get along and everything work out for them, but Ellie being cursed in her mind that she has to revenge Joel, that she has to go back out there and take out Abby the same exact way Abby took out Joel. And they do try to make it like, you know, revenge is not a good thing, and you do pay the price for all this revenge, and they do a good job of expressing that when you just go after revenge, that it never works out for you, when you could have just let things go and you chose not to. And there's no doubt that they're going to portray that. But in the end, who is really going to want to watch the girl that killed the main character? Who is really going to care about the girl who killed the main character? Nobody. It doesn't matter what they show or how much they try to make you like her and try to force it down your throat. There's no way that anybody's going to watch this show and was a fan of Pedro Pascal, and now all of a sudden you want everybody to start sympathizing with Abby and her crew and all of them. In the end, you're just going to be wishing that they do get taken out. And getting taken out is one thing, but I really think it's going to change the story. That being said, the person who is playing Abby is just not casted right, in my opinion. Abby is a beast in the game. She works out consistently. She is a monstrous girl, and she went that way just so that she could take out Joel. And it's significant that she's this size, because when she finally does run into Ellie, before that happens, she gets captured and she loses all of her muscle, and she becomes as skinny as Ellie. And that is the only reason why Ellie stands a chance against her when they finally start to fight each other in the end. And by her taking away all of her muscles, you lose that element. You lose all that. And are you really going to believe that that little girl that you seen from the beginning is going to be the military commander, someone who can go out there on her own? Abby will go out there on her own and fight off these monsters and everything else. She would do all that stuff. And now when you look at this girl, there's no way you're going to believe she's going to be able to physically manhandle all these men out there, even though they tried to make Ellie have a fight with a guy, but they were quick to let you know that the guy definitely pulled his punches when punching her in the face. And it's quite possible that they casted this girl just because she's the same size as Bella Ramsey, and they wanted the fight to be even in the end. But it just takes away the character Abby. It takes away the essence of this character. And when you do these shows and you start messing with this material, the source material. You get the butterfly effect, and one thing leads to the other. When you cast this skinny girl to play Abby, now all of a sudden you lose the fact that when Abby gets captured later and gets tortured, she loses all of her muscle tone, and this is the only reason that Ellie can quickly stand a chance against her. You lose all that. All that is wiped off the board when you do this. And to me, that's who Abby is. And you're not going to see her just break down after being captured like this. When fans seen her after she was captured from watching the video game, they were shocked compared to what she looked like at that particular time to what she used to look like. In the end, I just do not see in any way that this will work. And it really isn't the showrunner's fault. They are just dealt the hand that they are dealt. They're dealing with the video game. It really was the video game people who made this part 2 and decided to take this course of action. I don't know why. As I said before, they were trying to be a little cheeky maybe and just thought, hey, let's do some really good storytelling here and it's gonna work, instead of just sticking with the bread and butter of the show and just having everybody fall back in love with the show. Again, the numbers don't lie. When you sell 30 million or something and the next one comes out and sells 10 million, and 10 million is a lot of copies, don't get me wrong, but that's a huge colossal flop. All right, in any metrics of it, it's a flop. It did not work. What they did was not well received by the public whatsoever. And you can slice it any way you want to slice it, but the bottom line is that is the facts. There's no way around it. 20 million less copies. And now the show is forced to adapt this and put it in there, and there's no way around it. There's nothing they can do to save it. There's no way they can just keep Joel alive, and it works like that. The way he dies is going to be the way he dies, and he's going to die brutally when it's all said and done, and it's going to be by this little girl, Abby, is going to be the one who takes him out. A guy who went into a hospital and took out, 14, 17 people all by himself is now going to get hemmed up by a girl who probably weighs 110 pounds. And I don't know how much that fans are going to want to follow this love story of Ellie and Dina. I don't think that's good enough to carry the show where it needs to go in the future. I just don't see it being possible. That's my opinion on it. If you have a different opinion and you don't agree with me, then what you can do is put it in the comment section and tell me exactly why you don't think that I'm right, that I'm wrong, and I'm bugging, and the show is just going to take off right after they kill the main character. Yeah, when does that ever happen in any show? And don't bring up Game of Thrones to me that they killed main characters, because the main characters were always Kit Harington and Daenerys. They were always the main characters. So no matter who else you lost, as long as you had those two, you were good. And you seen what happened in the fans' reaction when they had Jon Snow take out Daenerys, right? Wasn't good at all, and they lucky they did that in the final season, because if they didn't do it in the final season, I think they would have been in trouble with this show 100%. But again, you let me know what you think in the comments section. Do you think the show will survive the fact that Joel gets killed by Abby in a brutal way? Will you be willing to care about Abby when you hear her backstory and meet all her people that she's hanging out with? Will you even give a fuck about any of that situation when it's all said and done? Will you care about the show? Will you still watch the show? Or will you just say, fuck it, I'm out? Let me know in the comments section. If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.